All right, good morning, members. It is Monday morning, bright and early, 9:15 a.m., October 12th. Glad you are here. We are seeing SPY is slightly down from where we closed yesterday. This is the 5-minute pre-market for SPY. We can see we had a high right first thing in the morning and a low first thing, and now we are in a consolidating pattern. Did just set a little bit of a lower low with this lower wick of this candlestick, so we'll be watching for this low of 201.15. If that breaks, we'll see some more downside. Key resistance we're watching on the 5-minute is the 200 period resistance, 201.33, 100 period resistance, 201.36, and the 20 period resistance is that level as well. You can see a little bit of a steady downtrend in the past hour or so where the 20 period resistance has been keeping the price down. So we'll see if we set a lower low. Judging by the bearish reversal doji we saw yesterday and the double top at 201.90, we are expecting some downside, but we'll see how we react to these moving averages, and if we turn them into support, we will change our game plan and go with the flow. So let's check some other tickers. I want to point out some that I'm watching. We have CDZI. The ATM list from a few members last night was gracious enough to add that stock, and I really like it for an oversold bouncer. Not yet, but we're going to be stocking that one for entry. And then some other oversold bouncers that have played out a little bit already, TANH and KND, both looking for some more upside on those. So we'll be checking in on those once they start because we don't have much pre-market volume on those tickers. And as far as pullbacks go, we are looking for FCX to continue downward, Twitter to continue downward as well after getting rejected from the 100-day moving average, and SSYS was also rejected from its 100-day moving average. So those few stocks have had bullish days in a row, 5 to 7 bullish days, and hit some key resistance and slow down a little bit. So we'll see if the bears step in and start knocking them down. Let's check out Netflix. 5-minute chart for Netflix, very clear pattern here. 200 period resistance, 114.03. 100 period support, 113.47. We are currently trading within that range, and I certainly like, as you know, when stocks are in the not nice range, because if we break this key support, close below it, it is an indication to go bearish, and if we break above the resistance and close above it, it's an indication to go bullish. Looking at the daily chart for Netflix, we can see we had a bit of a consolidation day after the breakout day, so we're back below the upper Bollinger Band on the daily chart. The low of Friday was 112.44, so we'll be seeing if we get a lower low, and the high of the day was 115.83. Those will be two key levels to watch. ASNA. Not much pre-market or no pre-market volume. Closed at 13.64. Daily chart is interesting for ASNA because we have a whole lot of moving averages all in the same area. So we did lose $14 support. That was a key one to close above. We only did it for one day in a row. 1440 is still some strong resistance. In terms of support for ASNA, we have the middle Bollinger Band, 1353. We closed below the 200-day moving average, 1366. So that is resistance. 10-day moving average resistance, 1376. And 100-day moving average resistance, 1395. Friday was definitely a trap set by the bears. Gapped open higher, and then the bears controlled the rest of the day on high volume. Watch the MACD for the bearish cross. Let's check out OAS. OAS, only a wee bit of pre-market volume, 1373. Need to check out the daily chart for OAS, and we can see that we have 200-day moving average resistance is strong at 1397. That's knocked down the price 3 days in a row now. Upper Bollinger Band resistance, 1381. Low of Friday was 1311. If we break 1311, we will come down to the 100-day moving average support of 1240. BABA. Sorry, Richard, didn't see you sneak that in there. BABA up to 69. We have the 20-period moving average support of 69.46. And below that, 100 period 68.96, and the 200 period 68.42. So all moving averages as support on the 5-minute chart, which means BABA is opening higher, it appears, compared to on Friday. Looking like BABA is definitely going bullish. Found bottom at $58, set a higher high. We had a high on September 16th of 68.08, and we got above that on Friday, turning the 50-day moving average resistance into support. So that support is 67.94. Very nice uptrend for BABA. The bulls finally showed up. drew the line in the sand for support, and that was the double bottom with the market crash. We had a market crash low of 58. We came down and hit a low of 57.31, but then the bulls took over. Very nice gains from 58 to $68. And we will see, expecting a little bit of consolidation, perhaps to retest the 50-day moving average support of 67.94, as the RSI on the daily chart is 61. A little bit more room to go up, but we have had 5 of the last 6 days green, so being aware of consolidation that might take place for BABA. HZNP. We have the market open in 10 minutes here. HZNP. So pre-market, we have support of the 20 period 1946, the 100 period support is 1915, and the 200 period support is 1858. So looking at those moving averages, we know that we are opening higher than where we were on Friday. So let's look at the daily chart, check back in. Nice higher low formed. We had a very oversold bounce back at the end of September, set a high of 2150, pulled back again, set a higher low on October 8th. And then on Friday, we closed above the 10-day moving average resistance of 1914. So that was bullish. And now we are trading at about 1950. So right around the close, we'll need to see a break of the high Friday 1973 and watch the 10-day moving average support to what it updates with the open today. LLY. Very oversold pre-market, selling off. The RSI got down to under 6, which is extremely oversold, as you know, and now we're seeing a nice bounce. The key test will be this 20-period resistance, 79.66, already setting higher highs on this bounce from the oversold move, but the key test is that 20-period. Let's look at the daily chart and see where support can be found after this sell-off. Trading at 78.68, that's dropping us all the way down. Let's see, we had a low on September 28th of 78.50. So we're watching that key level. If we open up above 78.50, that's going to be support, and support below that is down at 77.77, which was the low of August 16th. But for now, all about the 20-period moving average support and the ability to turn, or resistance, and the ability to turn that into support. DPLO. No pre-market volume. Checking out the daily chart. We've got a bullish day on Friday. The 10-day moving average resistance is 27.10. That's going to be the key test and need to turn that into support. High of Friday, 26.85 is resistance. And after that, we have resistance of 28.86. Support is 24.38. And also these 100 and 200 period moving averages on the 5-minute chart, 25.82, 25.29. Dust. Let's see how the gold miners are doing here. Down pre-market, 20-period moving average has been turned into support, 12.74. Resistance is the 100 period, 13.45, and 200 period, 13.94. So you can see how oversold it is. The RSI hit all the way down to under 10. Looking at the daily chart, dust is the gold miner's bear, so that means that gold must be up today. We had a low on Friday of 1361, so we're trading well below that, and going to be very oversold on the daily chart for dust after losing. We were at $26 6 days ago, and now we are down to $13. So looking at the weekly chart for where support might be found, and have to look a long ways back to find it. Let's see, 1271 is where we are trading, and we had a low of 1110 back on May 11th. So watch for 1110 support to hold on dust. MDCO. 6 minutes until we open here. I'll get through as many tickers as we can. MDCO is up. We have the 20 period 200 period support at 34.99, 20 period 34.96, 100 period 34.94. So looking like we're opening up higher this morning on the daily chart. Looking at 50-day moving average resistance of 36.26. That's going to be the test. The high on Friday was 35.40. So looking to break 35.40, then we got 36.26 as resistance. Support on Friday was the low 34.47, and we have all these moving averages on the 5-minute chart in the upper $34 range. GoPro struggling every day with the 10-day moving average resistance on the daily chart. Currently testing 100 period moving average resistance on the 5-minute chart, 29.20. 200 period moving average support is 28.70. So that's that clearly defined channel that I enjoy. We have the 200 period support and 100 period resistance. 10-day moving average resistance on the daily chart is 29.82, and that's going to drop down with the open, so keep your eye on that. Need to see a close above that and the bulls to maintain that support. VMW on the daily chart. We have an RSI of 45, so not oversold. Let's see where we're opening at pre-market here. Got knocked down all the way down to $73. So I need to look at the weekly chart to find the support. $73. Let's see, we were all the way down to $73.65 on January 26th, but looking like we are at a 1-year low. So we'll see when we open up how low the RSI drops on the daily chart. And again, VMW is all about the 20-period moving average resistance. If it's able to turn that into support, currently 74.72, there'll be a nice amount of room before we hit 100 period resistance up in the $77 range. So keep your eye on that 20 period on the 5-minute chart. Sunni on the 5-minute chart has 100 and 200 period moving average resistance, 922 and 925. Those are going to be very key levels to get above. So we'll be watching that. If we lose $9 psychological support, there'll be more downside, and we'll check out where those support levels in the $8 range are. Currently in a downtrend pre-market, and I assume it will be following SPY closely. We'll see if that pattern keeps up. I already covered Netflix, so we'll switch on over to Apple. Pre-market, we topped out with a gravestone doji at the top of the uptrend up here at 113.17, so that is resistance. Support is this low here at 112.34. We also have 100 period support, 112.35, and 200 period, 111.72. Checking out the daily chart, I knew we were coming up on some middle Bollinger Band resistance. That level is 112.71, so we're going to open just below it. And the 50-day moving average resistance, 112.87. Those are key levels to close above. If that happens, Apple could easily go to 116, but needs to turn the middle Bollinger Band and 50-day moving average daily resistance into support. Thank you, Zach. RDUS. Currently trading at about $60. We have 100 period support, 58.79, 200 period resistance, 60.35. So we're in that clearly defined range of support and resistance. Checking out the daily chart for RDUS, we have 5 big red days in a row. 200-day moving average support was 53.96, but we are opening higher. Lower Bollinger Band support is going to be 59.41, and resistance is the high of Friday, 62.39. So seeing a little pre-market bounce in RDUS, which was oversold. 1 minute until the open. OREX. 100 period support, 265. 200 period resistance is 277. And 200 period support is 252. Let's check out the daily chart for OREX. We got rejected from the upper Bollinger Band resistance, 261, but we are opening higher above that. The high was 270, above that still, and the 50-day moving average resistance, 283, is going to drop down with the open. Watch out for the gap and trap. We could gap up, get rejected by that 50-day moving average resistance, and then pull back. Be cautious of that. XON is the last one I'm going to do as we transition into pre-market. 3650 XON. Not much pre-market volume on the daily chart. Looking at resistance, the high of the day Friday was 36.75, and after that we have the middle Bollinger Band resistance, 39.06. Support will be the low of the day Friday, 33.87. So I'm going to pause for a moment while we transition into the open. We're going to be watching hemp, 62 bid, 67 ask. Five, four, three. All right, and here's the open. we have SPY over these key 100 and 200 period supports. So we'll see if it's able to maintain these through the open. Watching hemp volume here first thing in the morning. And we see SUNY is currently holding that $9 support, but not by a lot. So bullish start to the day, first thing for SPY, but we're watching these two previous higher highs back here and still forming a third lower high. FCX is continuing its pullback slightly. KND is up a little green, looking nice. TANH. We have 675 is key support for TANH, and below that the must hold is 650. $7 is resistance. Need to get some support over $7. Seen a lot of volatility with SPY here first thing in the morning, so we're going to keep our eye on it. Could be some nice trading opportunities when things settle down. So want to see bids start to form for TANH above $7. And again, 675 is support, 650 the must hold level of support. You can see hemp kissed 6.7 first thing, so that's a higher high over 6.5. And then some asks filled in below it, so on the chart that will sure look good. That's another way that manipulation of a penny stock can make the charts look good. We'll see how the volume ends up today on hemp. And SPY is testing these 100 and 200 period moving average resistances. That is going to be the battleground first thing in the morning today. Currently losing those levels, so support is going to be the lows seen just before the open, which was 201.19. As we are currently losing the 100 and 200 period support, they are going to be resistance once this candlestick closes in about 3 minutes. So FCX is continuing down, target of 1250 on the daily chart for FCX. KND is above $14. Thank you, John, for pointing that out. So let's look at the daily chart for KND. Need to turn that $14 level into support. Resistance was the high from Friday, 14.05. We broke above that. 10-day moving average, 14.14. Need to close above that level by the end of the day, and we'll be looking really good on KND. Back to SPY to see how we're shaping up. You can tell by this candlestick with the large upper and lower wick, we have a lot of volatility first thing in the morning. Daily chart signals potential pullback, and we'll be watching for that weakness to unfold. There is SUNY with a big fast drop on high volume. Just lost $9 support and dropped 13 cents in seconds. So SUNY is now below all 5-minute moving average support. Let's check out other time frames. Hourly chart, 100 period moving average support is 880. 872 is 30-minute support. So we'll be watching those levels. RSI is not oversold yet on the 5-minute chart, as we just had a 13-cent bounce in seconds after we dropped very quickly. SPY, big drop as well. Lower lows compared to the pre-market lows we saw back here. Huge red candlestick. So now we have the low of pre-market, which was 201.15. If we break below that, there'll be more downside to consider. Big red candlestick to start the day. 201.15, testing that support, and now we got 201 psychological support. Let's check out the SPY daily time frame. The low of the day Friday is going to be a key level to watch, and that was 258. If we break below that, it'll be looking like we will confirm the bearish reversal doji. 50-day moving average support 198.59. Again, still very early first thing, but we are looking bearish combined with the daily chart signals we were watching on Friday. KND looking really good. Nice higher high, 1423. Need to close above 1414. That's all what we're watching today. Nice green candlestick to start the day. So there's SPY with the closed candle on the 5-minute below those key supports that are now resistance. We'll be watching to see if we get a back test of that level. Currently dropping down again, testing the low of the day. Here's a new low. We are looking bearish to start. Sunni's having some wild swings, but leaning bearish as well. Hello, Amiga. Let's check out Win. Currently maintaining key 100 and 200 period support on the 5-minute. 74.91, 74.94 are those must-hold levels, forming higher highs compared to pre-market. Currently testing that support right now, so watch to see if we close these candlesticks below it. If we do, support will be the 20 period of 74.35. Checking the daily chart for Win, we have the low from Friday was 73.20. If we break that, there'll be more downside. 50-day moving average resistance is 76.66, but it's all about the 100 and 200 period support to start things. I will look at XOM in a minute. I'm just going to answer Adam really quickly here. MDCO 3742 resistance. $100 period support on the 5-minute is 34.97, and the 200 34.99. XOM. $100 period resistance is 79.37. 200 period resistance is 79.59. So a little bit bearish. We lost those supports. Now we are back testing them as resistance. Let's check out the daily chart. We have key 100-day moving average support of 78.85. Must close above that level to stay bullish. And the low from Thursday was 78.54. Low Friday, 78.62. So those levels are key as well. And resistance is going to be the 100 and 200 period. And then $80 psychological resistance. We'll see if we can get above that level. Selling a little bit more hemp, easing my way out of that position. Still plenty of upside potential for hemp as long as 6-cent support holds. I am just playing it cautiously and exiting a third of my position. So KND pulling back a little bit. TANH, the bid is creeping up to the ask, tightening range. Let's look at SPY to see if we are still definitely bearish. I can tell by being around 201. You can see the long lower wick here did show the bulls buy some of that dip, but breaking the lower lows, definitely a bearish start to the day. 258 will be the key level to hold. NVCR. Thank you for asking, Diving. Glad to have you as a member of the group. 20 period moving average support is 21.58. Resistance is the high of the day, 22.97. After 21.58 support, we have 20.76, the 100 period on the 5-minute chart, and the 200 periods down here at 19.60. So looking like NVCR is opening higher. I'm checking out the daily chart. Recent IPO and certainly a volatile play. 4 big candlesticks. This is actually a bearish 3-gap up reversal pattern, so I would be very cautious playing this one bullish. Expecting some consolidation, although IPOs are really tricky, as I'm sure you know. But 3 gap ups does signal a bearish reversal pattern. If we had a red candlestick tomorrow, that will confirm the bearish reversal. Support is going to be 20.50. And then after that, we'll have to look for lower levels. But as of right now, holding up well. All about this 20-period moving average support, 21.59. So SPY is maintaining 201. We'll see how long it can hold that up. Back to SPY, we'll keep our eye on that. And SUNY is maintaining $9 support. This big hammer on SPY is a bullish reversal candlestick. We'll need to see a green candlestick to confirm it. If it does get confirmed, we're going to come back up and test this key resistance of the 200 period, 201.32. We'll see if we get rejected from it. KND continuing to look good. 14.35 is the high of the day. And CDZI is holding that $3 level, very oversold daily chart. We'll be watching to see if $3 support can hold throughout the day today. So SUNY is trading pretty consistent with SPY. Let's compare the 5-minute charts. We've got some consolidating pattern, higher lows and lower highs, very small trading range for this candlestick, which closes in 3 minutes. FCX dropping hard, target of 1250 on the daily chart. Let's see what Twitter is doing. Twitter was on the pullback watch list as well, and you can see it was rejected by the 200 period resistance and dropping down to 30.15. Pointed that one out on Friday as we had the triple top at 31.50 resistance. That short is playing out wonderfully. SSYS also had a rejection from the 100-day moving average. Just bounced now off the 200 period moving average support on the 5-minute chart, 31.53. Let's check how the daily chart of SSYS is shaping up. Rejected again from the 100 period moving average resistance right with the open, and it has been bearish ever since. So the open was 32.31 and resistance was 32.34. If we break 31.31, which was the low of Friday, we'll see some more downside with SSYS. It's a very nice pullback on Twitter and FCX. SPY looking like we're going to come back up and test this 200 period resistance, which we are doing right now, currently getting rejected from it. This is a back test. We'll see where this candlestick closes. If we see a rejection here, this is when you would start entering bearish positions with whichever stock you are watching. We'll see where this candlestick closes and if there's more downside to come with SPY. Netflix got above the 200 period to start and then dropped below, way below. So large range as usual for Netflix, lots of trading opportunity. Bullish reversal candlestick being confirmed right now and testing the 200 period moving average resistance, 113.96 key level to close above. 113.49 is support below that. We have Apple losing support. Here's a perfect example of a back test. Closed below the 100 period support on the 5-minute chart. Tried to get above it, couldn't do it. Second candlestick in a row, tried to get above it, and an ugly rejection. So now we are trading within the range of 200 period support, 111.75, and 100 period resistance, 112.36. Facebook lost key supports and is now trying to regain them and currently trading within that clear channel. 200 period support, 92.99, 100 period resistance, 93.17. Bearish start to the day with SPY trying to recover a little bit, and we will be watching to see if SPY fails these 100 and 200 period resistance back tests, and if it does, I would expect Facebook to lose this 200 period support. Let's see WIN. Up to the high of the day today was 76.32, so let's check out the daily chart and where the 100-day moving average resistance was at that level. or it's the 50-day moving average resistance, excuse me. So that level is 76.68. We came up fairly close to it. Bearish reversal candlestick on the 5-minute chart. We have those key supports of the 100 and 200. That's going to dictate the day. As long as we can hold those, it's going to be a bullish day. If those get lost, we'll start looking for some downside. So looking like SPY was able to turn these key resistances back into support. This candlestick has not formed yet. We still have 4 minutes until it does. 100 period support is 201.36, and we'll be watching the high of the day, which we are currently headed up towards right now. So a little bit of a recovery here. KND still looking good, 1440 new high. FCX pulled back all the way to 1302. That was a 50-cent drop from the open. TANH still trying to regain that $7 support level. And here is SPY with a high of day test. And there's a new high on a little bit of a volume spike. So let's zoom out a little bit. We have the high back here of 201.56. Pre-market we saw that. We just hit that level. So we'll see how we react to that. High after 201.56 was 201.57. So that's looking like some strong resistance. And then the high pre-market first thing, 201.60. If we break 201.60, it will be bullish. Currently seeing some resistance though, where we saw resistance pre-market with SPY. Sunni has lost $9 now. 885 is support. Pre-market, we had Zach who pointed out Sunni support at 884 and 821, and you can see we dropped right down to 885 and then saw a quick 15-cent bounce. So that was a key support level to watch, and we'll see how we react to it again as we have SPY attempting to break that 201.56 key resistant level. Let's see, we got oil is down and natural gas is down slightly. And looking like SPY, the longer this upper wick is going to be on this candlestick, the more likely we're going to come back and test these key supports. And the market certainly has not found which direction it wants to head in just yet. So Netflix following SPY had a very nice spike and a higher high, pulling back a little bit now. Bullish reversal candlestick was confirmed. Nice gains off of that. That Facebook is back above its key support as well, although it's getting rejected from the 20 period resistance 93.32, key support 93.18. PCLN $13 turning into support was a bullish sign, and we are heading up further. Let's check out the daily chart. Currently trading at 1329. Very strong and steady uptrend on the daily chart. 10 green days in a row, so we are due for some pullback on PCLN. I'm seeing resistance at September 17th, 1338.51. So we'll see how we react when we get to that level. Currently RSI is 83, getting very oversold. Very overbought on the 5-minute chart. Could see a little bit of pullback soon. Watching the resistance from September 17th and 16th. Very long upper wick on this candlestick shows profit taking and the bears stepping in. Closes in just over a minute. Let's check out Amazon. Amazon on the 5-minute chart is bullish. We got 20 period moving average support 540.57. You can see pre-market we bounced off this 100 period support level 539.24. Let's check out the daily chart. Daily chart is bullish off of the previous 3 days, bouncing off the middle Bollinger Band support and holding that level. That key support is 530.81. We have 550 resistance. As soon as we get a close above 550, it will be very bullish for Amazon, but a little bit of a ways to go. Need $5 here on the day. So I'm seeing resistance at 550, and that's about it on the daily chart. So if Amazon can hold that level and get above it, turn it into support, we'll see some more upside there. Good morning, Peggy. RDUS, let's check in on EAT making some money. 200 period support is 60.19. Some nice spikes here first thing, but you can see these upper wicks are showing some selling pressure. Need to turn 61.50 into support to head higher. VLKAY. Volkswagen opening up to $30. Let's see the daily chart. Lots of gaps with this play, so it's certainly one that is hard to hold overnight. And wow, very, very bullish bounce from $23 low all the way up to 30. Seeing resistance at 30.17. We are above that. So that is support. $30 psychological support. Lots of gaps. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 gaps in the past 5 days. It's not a bearish reversal pattern though, because we had a breakup in that pattern on October 8th. Very nice gains to be had in Volkswagen. FNMA, Fannie Mae. RSI on the 5-minute chart was down to 25, seeing the bullish reversal being confirmed right now if this green candlestick holds. Checking out the daily chart, I know we had a bounce fairly recently. Rejected from the 200-day moving average resistance of 247. 100-day moving average support is 237. We hit a low of 238, so we're looking to bounce off that level right now. We'll see if that can hold. SUNY still bearish, losing $9 support. Looking like we could see a low of day test in the near future. SPY back below the key support. You can see how ugly this candlestick was. Breakout new high and a bearish reversal doji formed. And now we are losing those key supports. So we'll see where this candlestick closes and if we're going to come down and test the low of the day. Very bullish candlestick on the low of the day and very bearish candlestick on the high of the day. So that's very interesting and clearly an indecisive market currently. TANH is dropping down. 675 is support. Need to see that level hold. CDZI is the oversold stock. We were watching for $3 support to hold, but we have a new 52-week low today. That's going to be a very profitable bounce for us when it plays out, but we're going to sit on the sidelines and not try and catch a falling knife. FCX, low of day. Nice short there. And we got Twitter, very low of day. Awesome short from 31.50 resistance. Nice $2 gain there. 6% move. UAL, I would assume it's overbought because we had news that drove it up on Friday and we're still heading higher. So RSI hit up to 81. Bearish reversal candlestick forming, but keep an eye on the one that formed here. We did not get confirmation of a second red candlestick. So be cautious here. Let's check out the daily chart to just see how overbought we are. Daily chart has an RSI of 55, so not overbought on the daily chart. 4 green days in a row, we bounced from $50 up to $57. 50-day moving average support is 56.36. So we could see a 60-cent pullback if we do drop down from this bearish reversal candlestick. Here's the low of the day for SUNY. That happened a lot quicker than I was anticipating. Increase in bearish volume, testing the low of the day. Looking like that support could be lost. SUNY is definitely bearish. Breaking the consolidation pattern to the bear side. Checking out the daily chart, we have 2 million volume. We had 25 total for Friday. Lower lows, looking like we're going to test 10-day moving average support of 840. FCX continuing to drop, lost $13 support down to $12.91, looking really good for the $12.50 target. Nice 65-cent drop from the open today. SUNY lost its support, dropping down. 840 is the target. BIIB, bearish downtrend, 20-period resistance is 268.94, currently at the low of the day. Checking out the daily chart. Setting lower lows, we lost the support from September 28th, which was 267 even. Market crash low was 265 even, and we are below that so it is a very bearish trend for BIIB. No support in sight unless we can close above 265 and maintain the market crash support. Here's SPY dropping down only 10 cents above its low of day as SUNY continues to drop as well. So definitely bearish trades to be made today. EMC. Key support 200 period 28.18. Resistance is the 20 period 28.73. Checking out the daily chart. Very overbought. RSI is 78. We have a bearish reversal candlestick forming, very overextended above the upper Bollinger Band. Upper Bollinger Band support is 27.75. We have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green days in a row. And looking for consolidation. If we lose this 28.18 200 period support, there is more downside in EMC's future. SUNY down to 880 low of day. I'm assuming Netflix and Facebook and everybody else is pulling back with SPY. Netflix is still maintaining that 200 support, so that is a good sign if we can close above it for the bulls. That is 113.94. And Facebook did lose those key supports, rejected from the 100 period and the 20 period, and then seeing some more follow through. So we had the bullish reversal hammer, confirmed it, rejected from these key resistances, bearish reversal doji, confirmed the bearish reversal, and now we're getting rejected again from the 200 period moving average resistance of 93.01. Let's check back in with SPY that was able to maintain its low day for now. Currently a higher low on the 5-minute chart, but it's all about the 100 and 200 period moving average resistances. We'll keep our eye on those levels. TANH low of 676. We know that 675 is a key support level. TTPH consolidating very greatly. We had 940 high and we're down at 887 now. Just want to check out TTPH daily chart really quickly. Middle Bollinger Band was resistance at 937, exactly where we were rejected from. Support is 851, the 10-day moving average. Need to turn that middle Bollinger Band into support for the bulls. AMGN for mi amiga. Very bullish pre-market on low volume. You need to be aware that it's very easy to drive the price up if you have deep pockets in pre-market, and you can see that it was a sell-off into the open. 20 period moving average resistance 153.31. Key 100 period support 150.42. Checking out the daily chart, I'm assuming we had a gap up, and that is what happened. Rejected from the 50-day moving average resistance 153.97. Bearish reversal candlestick is forming on the daily chart. The gap gets filled at 150.75. So this is a prime example of a gap and trap. Gets gapped open right to resistance and then pulls back. And we had that other stock that was potential for a gap and trap. Forgetting what it was that we were looking at pre-market. It was OREX, and look at that, exactly what happened. Perfect. Hope no one got stuck in that gap and trap that was alerted. Open was 276, resistance was the 50-day at 280, and we pulled back right from the open. So perfect example of the gap and trap. You can see the gaps video that I made in the member video section. Opened, and it's been bearish ever since. This is all selling volume. 200 period support must hold 253 on the 5-minute chart, or more downside is coming. SUNY testing its low of day 880. We have a target of 840 support on that one. And here's SPY with another ugly upper wick. So the bears are trying to take control here. CDZI is continuing to drop, Checking out the daily chart there, I know we are extremely oversold. RSI on the daily chart is currently 16. Sixth red day in a row. Volume on Friday was 1.3 million, so we're not going to see an increase of that unless things pick up quickly. Lower Bollinger Band support of 274, waiting for bullish reversal candlesticks on the daily chart and not seeing any sign of that yet. Let's see this XON bull. Watching the high of the day resistance of 37.72. Saw these upper wicks with some profit taking, consolidated a bit, but maintained this 20-period moving average support on the 5-minute chart, 36.35. Need to set a higher high and maintain the lows. So SPY is consolidating still. Sunni broke 880 and dropped 8 cents really quickly. So you can see anytime the key support breaks, there's a fast drop for Sunni. Very profitable for the bears today. Anybody is playing it bearish, congratulations. We will be watching 840 daily support for Sunni. Check back in on SPY, still maintaining its low of day, but getting closer and closer to testing that level. TANH needs to maintain 675 and essentially 650. As we've got SPY dropping down, testing 201 psychological support. VMW has not bounced, still in that steady downtrend. RSI is 24. We have a little bit of a bullish reversal hammer stick. Nothing convincing here. The low 70.32 must hold. But I am looking at the 20-period moving average resistance as a level that needs to be turned into support for any kind of bounce. AQXP. Currently overbought. Bearish reversal candlestick is forming. Not a whole lot of volume for the bears here. AQXP, checking out the daily chart. And that is certainly an interesting one to watch. Looking at the daily chart, we've got resistance of the 50-day moving average, 1557, and support is 1250. Certainly wouldn't be touching it to the bullish side right now, needs to consolidate. FCX continuing lower. Nice 70 cents short from the open. Let's see if Twitter was able to find support anywhere. Currently seeing the bullish reversal off of an RSI of 25. First bullish reversal candlestick, but needs to turn this 4-period exponential moving average into support. This is why I use this 4-period exponential moving average on any steep sell-off or any steep bullish run. This acts as resistance or support. You can see all candlesticks today, once the bearish reversal started, were rejected from that level. So SPY is very close to the low of the day. Sunni dropping down, looks like we'll test its low again. You can see SPY formed a long lower wick here again, so bulls are buying up the dip close to 201. We'll see how long that lasts. So a bullish reversal hammer for SPY is forming, and we'll see if we're going to come back up and test these key 201.31, 201.35 resistance levels. SFUN Very bullish, but getting oversold. 78 RSI. Checking out the daily chart for where we might find some resistance. Upper Bollinger Band 782 resistance. RSI on the daily chart is at 74, getting oversold. Overbought, I mean. 740 is support on a pullback. Seeing some consolidation right now. Very quick, volatile mover, risky play. Let's see if Netflix was able to maintain that 200 period, and it was. Look where we bounced off of it. Perfect example of a back test. Broke through the resistance, pulled back, held it on the first test, held it on the second test, and now higher highs. So very bullish 5-minute chart for Netflix. That's why the back test is very important to watch, just to see how strong. You see these 3 candlesticks, you wonder, oh, did I miss that move? You see the back test hold twice. Put your stop loss just below those lows and let it ride to the bull side. We have upper Bollinger Band resistance of 115.53. High of the day yesterday, 115.83. So upper 115s seeing some resistance. Let's see if Facebook is having any similar luck for the bulls a little bit. Key is to turn this 20 period into support, currently 93.26. Nice higher lows, need to get the higher highs going with a break of 93.37 this candlestick. SPY is holding its ground. So as long as we are below these key supports and they are resistances, we are bearish the markets, but not very decisive to start the day here. This is another rejection from that 200 period. We touched it and are pulling back. As soon as we set a new low of day, that will be a much more bearish development and a break in this consolidation trend. Let's see if Twitter is seeing that bounce play out. Still seeing that 4-period exponential moving average resistance. Need to break that and set a higher high over 29.60, which was the high of this previous 5-minute candlestick. Let's check out what GoPro is doing. Also bouncing. You can see the bullish reversal candlestick. Seeing some follow through, but decreasing volume. Always worth noting. Weakening bullish bounce. Support of 28.10. Baba bullish start to the day. Hit 70 resistance, pulling back from it. Now trying to maintain 20 period support, 69.69. Nice bounce off of the 100 period support first thing in the morning. So watching SPY closely. Still maintaining those higher lows. Consolidating range, and once we see it break this consolidation pattern, we will know what direction we're headed. Watching hemp to maintain 6 cents support. And we're back to testing these key resistances. That's why we wait for candlesticks to close, because it can turn around just that quick. AGN. Consolidating range on the daily chart. Not expecting a whole lot of volatility. Getting rejected from the 10-day moving average resistance of 273.71. You can see from the bounce on October 29th, we set a high on October 5th. We're rejected from the middle Bollinger Band resistance. A lower high on October 6th, and just consolidating range. So Expecting a break in the next week or so from that consolidation range, but as of right now, I don't expect a whole lot of volatility in one direction or the other. Let's see if SSYS is pulling back as anticipated, and there it is, perfect pullback. Bullish reversal candlestick on the 5-minute, but all short plays pointed out on the watch list are looking great. FCX, Twitter, SSYS were the three that were highlighted. Perfect rejection from the 100-day moving average resistance for SSYS and then fell off a cliff. So a nice $1.30 short so far from the open. Make that $1.50, and that is over 4%. And SPY is back above the 200 period, not by a whole lot. SUNY, we have the target of 840 on the daily chart. Trying to bounce here, but not being able to see much bullish volume. 872 is the low of the day and current support. RSI is 23 on the 5-minute, so if we can hold this 872, we might be good for a little bit of a bounce here on SUNY. Again, it's all about this 4-period exponential moving average, which has knocked down all these candlesticks for the past entire day. So looking like the support is about to fall, but we'll see if we're able to maintain. Going to keep our eye on SUNY here for the next few minutes. So there's the hold of support. As SPY goes green, maybe seeing a little bit of follow through from there. KND is holding up nicely compared to everything else. So 872 is a triple bottom for SUNY now. So a potential bounce from this level and a stop loss at 869 would be fairly safe. Nice high risk to reward would be in your favor. Tight stop loss just under very clear support and giving yourself room for a potential bounce if it plays out. As we have SPY going green again, back above the key resistance levels we're watching, depending on where the candlestick closes in the next 2.5 minutes. SUNY seeing a nice little bit of follow through. And we're watching the high of the day for a level to break to go bullish on the markets for SPY. The high of this candlestick was 201.42, and we just saw 201.42 again, so we'll see if we can break above that level. And there's the break of it, so now the high of the day is resistance 201.56. Not a ton of convincing bull volume here. We're going to have more volume on the previous candlestick, which was the rejection from the key resistances. So we'll see if this upper wick develops and if we close below these resistances. Let's see where SUNY resistance is on this bounce. 4-period exponential moving average of 878 need to close above that level. Very clearly, that is the resistance. You can see the past 5 candlesticks, specifically the upper wicks rejected right from that level, but really the entire day. And there's that upper wick on SPY getting rejected from the resistance. We'll see where this candlestick closes. SSYS is testing the low of the day, 30.74. We'll see if we get a double bottom at that level. And Twitter is trying to find some support, but the 4-period exponential moving average driving it down. Here is SUNY back to test the low of the day. Looks like we did just break 872. All about the 4-period exponential moving average. The trade idea given for Sunni with that stop loss was certainly the high risk, high reward variety, as we do not have any bullish reversal confirmation or candlesticks on the 5-minute. It was just a level we saw hold as support 3 times. Testing the low of the day, 871 right now. So there's definitely some bullish interest in the low 870s. We'll see if they can get any kind of bounce off of it. Back to SPY as this candlestick has now closed, and we closed below the resistance level. And there's Sunni heading down lower, so the bulls are not showing up. Bears are still in charge. FNMA is all about 243 20-period moving average resistance on the 5-minute chart. Expecting some consolidation from this little bounce before that level is tested. FCX continuing way down. Awesome 80-cent short on a $13 stock from the open. EMC, I would play it by not looking at the news one bit, looking only at the charts, and the charts are screaming bearish. Very clear, lower highs, lower lows, falling off a cliff here, losing key 200 period support. RSI is 21, getting a little oversold, but this is definitely a play where everybody looks at the news, says, oh my god, Dell's buying, I want in, and then the bears absolutely crush this play. So gap up open, and that was a gap end trap. We opened at 28.75 and currently $1 down from the open. Support is the upper Bollinger Band, 27.56. If we hit that level within the next 5 or so minutes, the RSI on the 5-minute chart is going to be so oversold, it will signal we could bounce off that support, 27.56. RSI is now 20. VMW, let's see. Been rejected all day today. Checking the daily chart again. Yep, that was a gap down and continuing to drop very significantly, trying to find support. We had a low of 70.25, double bottom, triple bottom at 70.25 for VMW. Watch that level. CDZI is way too early for me to look at it for a bounce. No signs of a bounce on the 5-minute or the daily chart. Need to get above the 20-period moving average resistance on the 5-minute, 295 for me to even look at it, and $3 would be ideal to get above because that is psychological resistance. Sunni dropping down further, 840 is the support we're watching on the daily chart. SFUN, yes it is, thank you for pointing that out, was certainly overbought. Now finding support on the 100-period moving average, 728, and forming a bullish reversal hammer from that level. So SPY getting rejected again from those key resistance levels. You can see the upper wick showing the lower highs and then the lower wick showing the higher lows. So consolidating the entire day to start. And we'll be pretty clear once we break that trend. Coming down to test the low of the day right now, currently 8 cents above it. Increase in bearish volume, last candlestick. And looking like a new low of day could be coming. The low of this previous candlestick was 201.01, and we just hit 201.02, so still technically a higher low. Need to break below 201. PCLN continuing higher. RSI is staying overbought. Watching 1338.50 resistance on the daily chart. TANH, a tightening range still. 675 needs to hold. It would be a pretty big red flag if 675 support is lost. So SPY did maintain that 201.02 and then a low of 201.01 and then a low of 298. So just barely 3 higher lows in a row now. Certainly a bearish feel to the day, but nothing convincing yet. Twitter bullish reversal hammer on the 5-minute chart. Instead of higher high, all about this 4-period exponential moving average. We get a close above it, we could see a nice bounce on Twitter. SSYS, no sign of a bounce yet. RSI hit all the way down to 1950. The highlighted puts are certainly playing out today. CANF. A little bit of consolidation here. We have 480 support. It has held that 3 tests. Below 480, we have the low of this candlestick pre-market, 461. Checking out the daily chart for CANF. Gap up open, but a fairly ugly candlestick so far, looking like it might have been one of the old gap and traps. We'll see. Support on the 5-minute chart for moving averages is all the way down at 444 and 439. So if a break of 510 would be bullish and a break of 480 is bearish. EMC. RSI hit all the way down to 23. First bullish reversal candlestick, but 200 period support is up here at 28.20, so not a whole lot of bounce room. Watching Twitter closely for a bounce, and SSYS if that ever develops. BIDU. Very clear resistance, 20 period resistance on the 5-minute chart, 144.83. 100 period support, which held first thing. Nice bounce off that level is 143.88. So a close above or below one or the other will be bullish or bearish. Testing the support right now. If we close below it, support is 142.64 on the 200 period. Sunni, a lower low. And there is the SPY break to the downside. Thank you, Peggy, and thank you, Zach. So Sunni dropping with SPY. Still got that 840 target on Sunni, and here's the bearish break that we were leaning towards, but not too certain of. Playing out lower low. And now we are looking at the low from Friday, the low of the day, 258. I believe. Let's double check that. 258 is correct. If we break that, it will certainly be bearish. Currently confirming the bearish reversal doji seen on Friday, but need to see a break at the low of the day for a more convincing move down. Still maintaining this 201 level if we close above it. See how 5-minute RSI is looking on Sunni. Dropping down there, currently at 20. Bullish reversal hammer, but as you can see, nothing has been confirmed all day today. Very overbought. RSI is 88. Resistance is the high of the day. AQXP we're looking at. High is 1630. Testing that level right now. No bearish reversal candlesticks yet on the 5 minutes, so we're waiting for that to develop. FCX continuing to drop. So we currently have a double top at 1630, watching to see how this plays out. Checking back on a couple tickers here. SSYS still being driven down. Twitter as well. AQXP. So there's that double top 630. Bearish reversal candlestick is forming with 3.5 minutes until it closes. And watching closely as we could see some pullback here. PCLN, let's check back in really quickly. And bearish reversal candlestick right up there at $2 short on a $1,300 stock from resistance is pretty darn close. So we'll see if we get that pullback starting now. Break of 1332.58 will be a lower low of the previous candlestick and a good sign for the bears. AQXP looks like that short is following through. Double top at 1630. A break of the low of the previous candlestick, 1550, will signal some more downside is coming. Nice fast drop there. Good eye eat.